Bryce is a stud. And that's what he puts out on that social. Like, he takes hot dogs, turns it into a pie. Yeah, that's why Bryce is the man.
Yeah, I was gonna like piggyback off of David too, just to say that like what you meant, like all of our stories came from different places, and how we crafted our stories, not trying to turn it into a shoe is a crazy thing. Working with Bryce, I think I said earlier too, it's perspective. One being a black woman in the room that most black women have not seen. I didn't know I was going to be the only woman until the day we could wear an ounce of sneakers out, just like y'all did. So having perspective from a place of giving and receiving. I would say going into my first design sessions as a sneakerhead, like David isn't a sneakerhead, but I am. So I immediately came in thinking about all of us, right? Like what would they like, what materials, all these types of things. And he constantly drove me back, like, Sid, this is your shoe. Like this is about your story. So I had these very generalized sneakerhead, sneaker lover ideas. And he was like, but where's your part in this, right? So it's been amazing to like get that perspective, see you guys' process, but also give perspective as well, coming from the different walks of life that we do.
Yeah, Bryce will do that to you. Aside from like the chicken nuggets and the hot dogs, like he will bring the best out of you. So that's let's cut it up for these please, because they did a phenomenal job. But that's like what we're trying to bring with God's Swoosh. We're trying to unlock your potential and hopefully scale so that we can have more than like 4 winners. We can have a room full of creators. Maybe we can do a workshop, something where it ends up where the tangible outcome is input into the consumer journey. Like we want you guys to create the next 50 years of Nike, and that would be through God's Swoosh. How many of you guys already have access codes? You know what that means? Wow. You know what that means? Either you have already come to a physical session, you came to the virtual session, or you have taken so many L's on sneakers that we want to get you guys for. My man in the back, he understands. He's like, so we want to get y'all in first. We are sorry. For those of you who don't have access codes already, check the back fold of your notebook, and our friendship is going to help you guys on board. And if you have some codes now, share with a friend, spread the love.
Yeah, and also just know that please reach out afterwards if you're running into any difficulty. But ultimately, when you come to the landing page, there's a good join us. This website will be changing in the future once we start dropping the new collections. For now, for the beta. And so, as a part of that process, the first thing you'll do is sign into through Nike. Nike is a foundation of our platform. I'm assuming most of you all have a Nike account because you're here. So assuming you enter your access code after that, then we're going to go ahead and enter your handle. The handle is which displays on your membership card. It's right. It's part of your identity. It's the same way when your Twitter handle and everything else. Then we get to visualize that in the middle screen, and then that's when you get to design your very first Nike virtual creation, which is your swoosh ID, also known as a membership card. So in this experience, you get to pick the background color. Additionally, you also get to pick the logo. After you've customized your swoosh ID, this is when you start to set up your wallet. Wallet is basically what's housing all of your Nike virtual creations. We're currently partnered up with Bitco, who's helping us bring this to life. In addition to that, once you've entered and secured your wallet, then you're gonna go ahead and mint your first Nike virtual creation. I think which is an amazing partnership with us, and to be able to get you all to do that in the first place. Once we have that all set, you're good.
It's a It's a lot of decisions and colors to like make here.
And as of right now, it don't change because I've been on the engineering team because I was like, oh, my red is a little dark, but they like, fuck out of here.
This is beta.
This is beta. So just choose wisely. Make sure you are comfortable with your logo and color. But for now, we're gonna open it up for any questions you guys may have for us, me, friend check, Sid, David. We're up. We already got one.
Hi, great to see y'all. Dr. Siraji Jalasa, recently moved to Houston. Much like yourselves, I found a lot of resonance in your story writing that dissertation. You get to that point where you're like, are people gonna like this? Does this make sense? Am I gonna actually pass this class? So my question for all of you is, what was that moment when you're like, I got this shit. This is it. And what did you do to either celebrate or acknowledge it?
That's a great question. I got this shit. I'm kind of that person that always feels like that, not in a cocky way, right? And the reason why I say that is because, like I said, I'm always just gonna be me. I'm gonna tell my story. That's what I know best. That's what I know how to do. So ultimately, if you know yourself, like you got this shit, right? So I've always kind of been a writer. That's like my creative superpower. So when I kind of curated everything and I was ready to publish, I was like, this feels right. Whether somebody else is going to digest it, understand it, all of that, it doesn't matter because I understood it. So obviously to win and things like that, get the exposure, like that was extra validation, but not any that I needed to push me to do it. And then how did I celebrate? Literally, like I said, the night the first contract came through, I was in my bonnet. And they were like, "We need this back by tomorrow." So I got up, signed it, and then me, my husband, and my baby girl, we took a picture. I bought some champagne, and I think the celebration is still to come.
I don't want to sound cocky whatsoever, but knowing that I read the rules, and how many people will get eliminated. I was trying to say about this earlier. Like, realistically, we're competing against 100 people out of 500 who follow the rules. I looked through every submission. I knew what people were putting out there. I knew what people were resubmitting. I knew I was going to win. Like, I kind of knew. And I knew when Dan Sunwoo, a very important VP, liked my post, and I told my wife 3 days before, I was like, I got this. Like, I know it. I got this. I started spending money I didn't even have yet, so you don't want to do that. Well, mentally spending money. I'm getting ready for my honeymoon in Japan, so I'm gonna buy a real sick pair of Nikes in Tokyo and just, share it out and let people know and maybe invite people to tell me what to buy. But I guess my point was, I knew that no one was going to out-prepare me in this challenge. Like 5 days ahead, I knew what I was doing. I researched every submission. I knew it was doing well, and so I just knew. And I manifested. It's weird. I manifested this.
I love that. First of all, I love both answers, and I love that you guys were very unapologetically confident in yourselves. Because a lot of times, you have so many humble people that are like, oh, I don't know. But no, talk your shit, both of you. So let's have that for them one more time. Any other questions?
What's good, everybody? My name is Dion from the Bronx, New York.
Oh, we already know.
So I got a couple things while I got the mic, and I got to raise my hand again. I see somebody had a sneakerhead NFT. I got one too, so we game.
Yeah,
so I got that. Secondly, I wanted to know about so my brother, he works for House of Highlights, and he's on the court, and he do all that good stuff. But we hear you guys' story about your other lives and your other professions, and myself being in finance and corporate America, I hate it. So what advice you got for somebody trying to pivot into being a creative or a designer, as somebody who being from New York, I'm into clothes and sneakers, so that's something that's always been a passion of mine.
All right. So great question. I actually own my own company, a digital media agency, and I started it in 2020. Pandemic, we all had the highs and lows of it. I think we all still found a silver lining in that pandemic one way or the other. And that was an awakening for me to stop working for people and work for myself. So in the last 2 years or so, like I've been able to have a very successful business. Like I said, I don't walk around saying like I'm a creative. Like, like I think we all have some creative superpowers that we unlock here and there. And they just come through naturally. Writing, like I said, is one for me. I came out of college and my dream was to be a copywriter at an advertising agency my entire life. Did agency life for a few years, and I was like, I'm tired of these long hours and shitty pay. This can't be life. Switched over to aviation, and I managed social and digital for airports across the country. But for me, I never grew up thinking like, oh, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. I want to work for myself. Like I said, I wanted to work, for the man all my life. But then I quickly realized that the powers that I had in my talent, whether it was learned or natural, could be better served if I could own how I was serving, if that makes sense. So started my own company, have never looked for a client. Everything has always come referral from one or the other, from past jobs and things like that. So when you feel like it's time to change and take the leap, do it, right? Because if you wait and you tell yourself, no, it's not right, or maybe next year, or the account ain't looking right, just go for it. Because I promise you, like, it's gonna come back tenfold.
I also want to say, like, we've been working really hard to remove the barriers of entry. Like, the fact that our first challenge was Instagram. Everybody had Instagram. So everybody could participate. It didn't have any requirements to use any specific type of software. So any finance got a chance to come in. And so I just want to say that that's really a part of our mission with some of these challenges, and really leaning on the community to tell us how they want to show up in this space too. Web3 is rooted in like transparency and communication and community building, and so we want you all to tell us like what you want to see next. Because honestly, the Your First One challenge came out of hearing feedback from the community. Because we launched back in November, was it? And so we were like, oh, we want to co-create, and that's how this manifested. And so I can see the evolution. Like, it's not to say that Instagram is always going to be the place where we're going to do it. And so there's just so much opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna piggyback on what y'all said. It was kind of fire. I mean, just never stop. Even like for me, where I have like a bigger sports background, I was kind of like out of sports, and now like obviously I work for Nike, but my side hustle, which is Twitter, it's still kind of like drive. Yeah, it's still like supporting. Well, I can't even say supporting, but it's still doing a little something on the side for me. So I would say like whatever free time you have, outside of like sleep and stuff, just keep working on your craft, whatever that may be. Anybody else? Wait, we have one up here. Sorry. Just raise your hand so everybody can like run to you.
Y'all know this. I started in the engineering industry, and with that being said, I've seen a lot of this shift to AI using this infrastructure to push product. With that being said, what is the goal with the supply chain aspect of it, considering it's like a digital space? You manifest that also a product. Is like restricted that, but I'm experiencing that in my industry. So one of the things that I struggle with is establishing that trust with the brand. We need to incorporate that digital curtain to say, hey, we have this view of scarcity as well as this view of supplying the product in
That's a great question. Being in the digital space, definitely going to take less house because there's no manufacturing issues, so that's a benefit. But I think that giving utility to a Nike virtual creation expands and evolves the products one-time use. So like when you buy your physical shoe, it sits in a closet. It comes out when you go out, but for the most part, that's it. In this space, you can translate that product to go into, like I said, Fortnite or NBA 2K. And beyond that, that means that a year later, because you bought this particular token or Nike virtual creation, we're gonna randomly drop to those who have that same model the ability to have experience utility, which means that maybe it's like a session, a private session with LeBron. It could be anything. So that these products have so much more longevity because we can continue to drop utility at any moment in time, and it just keeps on. It entices you not only to collect, but also just like
find out how to engage with the community, trade. Maybe you were looking for a product utility because you're trying to crack something real quick. Or maybe it's because you want to leverage this in the gaming industry. So that opportunity allows you to engage with the brand at a much deeper level than what brands are currently doing.
Anybody else? Don't be shy. Oh wait. Oh. Okay, we have one in the back. We'll come to you.
Yeah, I had a question about the regional releases y'all do. Is there like regional people that are on the board, or is it just a general assistance for the stuff that y'all think that we like or we use? Because the Air Force One that came from Houston, I don't think that's definitely the aesthetic of our city is not.
Okay. I mean, first of all, that was a very diplomatic way of saying y'all ain't fucking with him.
No,
No, you know what? We all rocking out here. Y'all can stay on the brands. We all rocking. Okay. I mean, 'cause we were in DC and there was a lot of like balance. I think we went with like Air Force Ones this time just because like it's a very diplomatic shoe. It's a democratic shoe as well. Like you can change it, flip it. I'm not trying to get into like the Nelly verses, but there's so much that could be done with Air Force Ones and the history behind them. So that's a main thing. Like I think I would hope at some point everybody has rocked Air Force Ones, and so that's where that came from. But there's also like more to come.
Right, and I think to piggyback off of that, the first part of our collection is 100% community driven. So all that voting that y'all did in the brackets and everything, we dictated what is going to be the results of that first selection. So that's super powerful. So that's 100% of you all telling us what things should be. And so that's a continued relationship that we want to create. I can't say anything else.
Okay, there's two things happening, but we will start to implement a little more things in there. This guy in the second row is next.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Williams. I'm a fellow HBCU graduate. My main question is, it's more of a suggestion for the upcoming swoosh session, since y'all are in the driver's seats, of course, for this. My suggestion or an idea of the post would give everybody who's part of this an opportunity to, of course, create their own shoe design. It can be, of course, visual, of course, how they ever want to create it. They can, of course, trade it to other people that they're friends with within this program. And depending on how trades are going, it can possibly unlock opportunities to possibly maybe cop future shoes or so. Or it can help bring the voting aspect up to another level to say, hey, we like this shoe that we just got traded in and everything. It would be dope if it's like actual, if we can actually bring a real like concept to it and everything. I don't know if that idea is probably being thrown or has been thrown in the mix or so, but I'm just trying to pick your minds as to if something like that similar or so that would give us, the consumer, more of that visual, of that more, I guess, creative aspect to actually kind of everybody listening here who wants Sneakers and everything, this, that, and the third and stuff like that. So I know if this will probably help get a lot more people involved in the program, because I'm not saying do this and we get Sneakers guaranteed, but at least it'll bring that aspect to say, hey, it gives more a creative aspect and a lot of different opportunities to people who want to get into the industry to create or design their own shoe, so it can like bring more awareness to for Nike and to anybody else who's trying to come up.
Sounds like someone wants first dibs. No, that's a really great point. And so we're definitely looking to figure out what are the right ways to engage with the community. I think right now we're hyper focused on education and removing that barrier to entry and making sure that most of our communities have access to this knowledge and this technology that's been developed, so we can empower them to participate and hopefully become their own creators and also giving back to the community, because there's a certain amount of proceeds from our collections that get distributed back to the community, so it's also being open on. So every aspect of what we do is what you guys are at. But definitely, I love the idea. I'll let next time they'll show some Nike virtual products. Great question.
we got SWAT over here as well, so I'll put it in Texas. But a lot of times when I see the community-driven events, they are gentrified areas of Houston that are presently storefronts that don't employ people from those communities. So I don't really get that sense of a tie because that story doesn't correlate with people that grew up in those areas, let alone the people distributing them or not distributing to people in the community. So I want to
Mhm.
understand
Mhm. It was fun. Yeah, my students enjoyed it. They kept asking for more. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate it. And like I use those tickets. They end up giving me more than I needed. But yeah, I didn't make it, but I had friends there that filmed Hair Girls for me, so I'm working on your video now. I had an emergency, so I had to leave for Dallas that weekend. But no, we got your footage, so I'm working on it now. But no, thank you again. Okay, it's for the kids.
Those are national brands. I want, as we go to like DC, Houston, Tallahassee, Louisville, we want to have those these hyper local community leaders like yourself. And all I need is like names. Like let me know, and I would love to like elevate them. I think we both will like push very hard for it to happen. Nike, there's a lot of like hoops and the hoops are on fire to jump through. But I but if nothing else, like I understand, like a lot of our communities are from Atlanta, so a lot of that is becoming gentrified, and it doesn't resonate with me anymore. But once again, I want to tap in with y'all to know what does resonate with you, and maybe if you come back for a workshop, like Michael Williams said, then how can we go into a very authentic, there we go, authentic area of Houston?
Hold us accountable too. You know what I'm saying? Like if we're messing up and you see something that disconnects with our values and the way we present it, I want to hear from you all. I think that's honest feedback that we need to take in and figure out how we can manifest those locations so that we can show up. We certainly are doing a lot of outreach work, using LA as an example with the Walk Center and seeing how we can show up in real life in a place where people don't have access to the tools that are normally used in the Web3 space. And so there's different ways, and it's gonna take time. I'm not gonna front like that takes time. And so, but yeah, just looking with us and trying to keep us honest and giving us preview to maybe great organizations or not-for-profits that are in that space doing the work that we would love to connect to.
LinkedIn, I'm gonna give you my email. Like chat with me afterwards. Even the guy in our first session, he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot." And I saw you before. He was like, "I got a hard question. Ask some shits because that make us uncomfortable. Because then in turn we can make our bosses as uncomfortable as we possibly can." So thank you.
I also think, like, as consumers, that's something that's powerful about this space, that y'all created throughout this process. Is like, we've all been buying sneakers all our lives, like, right? But how many times have we said in Q&A Nike? It's like the first time for most of us. So I think that's something that's been, going back to perspective, that's been powerful for me. Like in the first session, how many people was like, I drove from San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, like people drove in, just to have this moment. And so I think while we still, kind of feel like that in some ways, like you're not like really touching the city when I say the city. Like this is just still a great start. And even like to Michael Williams, I don't know why we have a Dr. Tony White name, but I'm just going with the flow. Like touching back off of his idea, like you guys started something new, and I know we talked about this earlier. This global brand, they don't have to do anything different. But the fact that y'all decided to hop into the Web3 space, and while doing it, they just launched in November and already bringing in the community and already bringing in ways that we can get to the bag along with them. Like that still blows my mind. So I think I just look at these as like a first step of like something that's really about to pop off to be really great.
If I may add, not scripted, but like I think there's a lot of other brands in this space. I've researched what everyone's doing. You don't see the Three Stripes holding these sessions. You don't see New Balance holding these sessions. Adidas talks about being for creators, but we're here for Datsu session. So it's interesting to see where Nike's putting their foot forward first.
I don't even know how to segue because as a Nike employee, I can't say nothing. But I mean, thank you, David. Thank you, Sid. Any other questions? Anybody else? We got some over here.